Hey everyone, welcome to Ellis Mowers. I appreciate y'all watching. So hopefully this is more of a how-to video than a repair video. I think it only needs this, which is why I'm going to try and keep it quick and to the point, especially for a lot of new viewers and newcomers to the channel. I have a Task Force front tine tiller with a 5 horsepower Briggs & Stratton engine in it. It's been sitting up for a while. I can't get it to start. It's got some bad gas and it needs a carb diaphragm. So, fun fact, I was looking, and these are getting harder to find on in a store. If I can get this sold this week, or I have this sold if I can get it going this week. So I didn't want to wait a week on diaphragms if I could find one in the store. Believe it or not, got some of this at Advanced Auto Parts of all places. So it came in, it's actually a 2-pack, which is kind of cool. I think it was $4, so $2 a diaphragm, which is about as cheap as they come. Obviously, it's not genuine Briggs, but I don't have anywhere close that sells these diaphragms, except for Advance. Let's go ahead and dive in. I'll show you the gas first real quick, how bad it is, and then we'll go ahead and put the diaphragm on. So stay tuned. So like I said, it's a 5 horsepower Briggs & Stratton for those in flathead. Good shape overall, pretty well taken care of. This is a 130202 model. Type is 316601, but your main numbers are 130202. Made in 1991, February 12th, 910212. So I'm going to grab a baster and glass, and I'm going to show you how bad this gas is. I mean, it smells bad. So, it didn't stay in there for me, sorry. So there we go. We got a lot of rust and stuff in the tank too. So I'm just going to keep sucking the rest of this. Ooh, it smells bad. Gas out. Like I said, a lot of rust down in the bottom of the tank. Thankfully, it's not rusted through like a lot of them do. But, I mean, just look at how bad that gas is. So, I'm going to siphon the rest of this out. And then, I'm torn because I don't know if I want to wash the tank out. Because sometimes when you wash the tank out, you kind of knock off some flakes and it starts leaking. And these tanks are probably worth almost as much as the tiller is. So, I'm going to run it for a good 10 to 15 minutes before I sell it. But, to the main gist of the video, we're going to put this diaphragm on it. I'm going to fill it up with fresh gas after I get the rest of it. You will need the diaphragm, not only, but you'll also need, in this case, you may need a Phillips, but in this case, since this is an older one, you'll need a flathead screwdriver. Just a small one. You have access from the muffler so you can get around to it all. I'm going to take these 4 screws out and we'll replace it. So let me grab the tools, we'll take the screws out, I'll show you what we got, and we will replace this diaphragm. Alright, so I drained as much gas out of it as possible. I'm going to put a bunch of fresh gas in there. Like I said, the tank's not leaking and I don't know if I want to instigate it to potentially cause it to leak. But we're going to unscrew these Phillips screws. They're very easy to lose, so be very careful as you take them out. Put them in a safe place so that you don't lose them. I apologize for being stuffy. Let's see. I can very easily walk down into the engine bay, and then you're going to have a fun time trying to get them out. So just enough access from the exhaust on this application, thankfully. This can go for tillers, pressure washers, anything that's got this old 5-horse flathead. I think they make 2 different styles of this diaphragm, but generally they're fairly universal. So we're trying to pry, there we go, pry the old one off, and it's very, it's very dry rotted. Extremely dry rotted, I can already tell. So let me show you the spring and the washer and whatnot. So this spring and washer actually comes behind it. Some diaphragms you get the spring and washer, others you don't. You don't have to have it. It's good to have, but like I said, I don't have the time to really necessarily wait. Spring goes inside like this. Spring first, washer next, cover third, or diaphragm third, the cover fourth. So you can see how old this one is. It's kind of starting to get stuck on the, there. I'll clean up this mating surface a little bit. Doesn't need a lot. Honestly, probably doesn't need any. We're going to get some of this crud out of the way here on this diaphragm though. That way that we can put it in. All right, I got it all scraped out of there. These old Briggs, it doesn't take science for them to run by any means. Let me grab the new diaphragms. You only need one. They came in a pack of 2, which was kind of nice. Advanced auto parts for the win today. It's funny because they had them in stock at every single store within like the 30-40 mile radius of my house. So obviously it's going to go on like this. No, it's not. It's going to go on like this. You're going to line it up with the holes like so, right? Line it up just like that. Going to put that in. See if we can get the spring to hold in here while we put the diaphragm in. It'll make it a lot easier for us. Probably not. Okay. This is the most delicate part, guys, is getting the spring in and getting the washer in and then getting the screws in. So I'm going to get the screws on deck here. Go ahead and put 1 or 2 in through the diaphragm. And we'll put the one on the other one on the, let's put the one on the top here. So here's the tricky part. We've just got to get it just right here. Put it in. Alright. Like I said, this is the tricky part. I'm going to try and show y'all with my hand, or get my hands out of the way. We got to get that spring in the hole with the washer, which we just successfully did. Awesome. Okay. Now I'm fighting, don't lose your screws. Alright, so I'm fighting that screw right there. Don't lose it. I can get one of them screwed in just a little bit, then we'll be able to manage the rest of it here. Gotta be really careful. So, alright, y'all. Let me get this out of the way. Get this screw out of the way. Hopefully I can get it out of the way without losing it. Alright. So, now we've got to line up all the rest of the holes here. Alright, there we go. We're getting close. See, I just lost that screw like I didn't want to do. That's okay. Alright, so let's put the second screw in the top here. Make sure all your holes and everything line up for the diaphragm because you don't want to tear it as you put it in. And I can see through the diaphragm there, so that means I haven't torn it. We'll screw it in. Be nice and gentle. So we've lined up everything as good as we can. I've got to line up this last hole right here for the diaphragm. Once we do that, we're in good shape. Like I said, it's a balancing act. So you've got to kind of work it in there and then line up all your holes. And then you want to screw them in because you don't want to mess up your diaphragm. So in order to keep this video shorter, I'm going to cut it for right now. Line everything up, like I mentioned, which that's by far the most difficult task here. And then we'll give this thing a test. But that's essentially how you put it back on, apart from lining it up. Alright, y'all, I got all the screws and everything lined up, and back in we found the other one. Thankfully, it fell in an easy spot to get. So now I'm going to just throw some choke in it. I've got some fresh gas. I put a little bit of Stay-Bill in it as well to hopefully mix with the remnants of whatever is down there. So let's see if it'll crank up and run for us. I will check the oil real quick too. Alright, let's give it a few pulls. Alright, let's see. I'm going to spray a little bit of carb spray in it. it seems like we've got more of an issue with the carburetor than just the diaphragm, which is okay. So I'll take that off and see if we can get it clean. I bet that the pickup tube has got some issues going on with it. So it's kind of unfortunate. Hopefully, I was hoping that that was all I needed to do, but it is not. Let's take these off. I wonder if the pickup tube's clogged up. So it's interesting because the way that the gas tank mounts on here, it mounts with these screws that attach it to the carburetor, so you have to be careful getting those off. We'll go ahead and do that while we're here. Trying to take the shortcut, and sadly it didn't work. Okay. Got all the screws holding it on. No. So it's gonna be a little rough here, but we'll get it off. Got to get to these screws on the inside here, which is not going to be easy. So we've got a bracket on the bottom of this, which is a 5/16, which is down here, which I can take off, and that'll probably give me the leverage that I need to get the gas tank at least down so that I can take the intake off, and hopefully look at the carburetor. Man, I was hoping this was just going to be a diaphragm and call it a day, but I had a little bit too much rust in the tank in order for it to run right. So I'm going to take that bolt off. I'll save y'all some time here. Alright y'all, let me bring you back into this. So all I did was take these two screws off, and this choke mechanism popped off. Took the choke arm off as well. Now I'm going to get down here with something. It won't be that ratchet and socket, but I can do the top one here with a 5/16. And take off the I might need one of them. Let's see. Get one of them Torx bits to take it off with real quick, and a 5/16 inch wrench on the bottom, or maybe it's a 3/8 wrench. to get those intake bolts off. That way I can take this whole assembly off, including the carburetor, and we'll clean out the carburetor, we'll clean the tank out and all that good stuff. See if we can get it going. Alright guys, I got those bolts out. It was 2 3/8. I used a Torx bit on the top because I had better access, and just a wrench on the bottom, and we are off. And the last linkage you got to worry about is this linkage up top here, which you actually, looks like you can take off with a 5/16. Yeah, that is a 5/16. I've been saying 5/16 all day, and it's been 3/8 for everything, so silly me, LOL. And I was just going to do a quick video of how to put a gasket on it. Now we're knee deep into this. Alright, let me see, I gotta get this plastic piece off here. Oh, the linkages. There we go. Alright, so we're off there. That's molded in the tank. But we're gonna rip these off with the screws and get them out of the way. Should just be able to pull this right on up here. What have we got going on? A lot of junk, and y'all gonna think this is gross, but I'm gonna just blow into it. Yeah, so, oh yeah, see the main jet right there is actually clogged up. Like I said, I blew into it and it came out, but we gotta clean that jet out right there, because it is nasty. So at least we know we had to do this anyways. So bunch of rust right there, man. I'll take this whole gas tank off and all that mess and just give it a good old cleaning here. First off, I gotta put a carb on it, or not a carb, but I've gotta fix this main jet, so I'm gonna grab a couple wires and see what I can do with that. Alright guys, we got the carb jet fixed. Let me show you. Just sprayed some carb spray and we got it freed. You can see it kind of running out the back there. So that's good. So that's freed. Now comes the harder part with the gas tank and all of that good stuff. So what I have to do here is quite a few things, but we'll get it. I already got this spring off here for the governor, and so now I've got to take off the throttle assembly and the kill wire in order just to get the gas tank off. So I don't know how well I'm going to be able to show this to y'all. We're going to take it off. Oh, good gas running all down my leg here. Let me get out of the way. It's just nasty stuff coming out of that tank. Just absolutely nasty. So, alright, so I got the kill wire off. And I am about to get the throttle mechanism off. Once I find where I put that tool right there. Man, I'm gonna smell like old gas the rest of the day now. What day do I not smell like old gas though? Alright. Just taking this off. The throttle mechanism. That way we can take the entire tank off. Boom. Alright. That frees the tank up. I don't know if y'all can see the amount of rust inside that. We got quite a bit though. So now I'm just gonna take it out, pour it into a bowl or something. All this gas, just to get it out of here. Spray a bunch of carb spray into the tank. Get as much of that rust out as possible. I mean, it is brown. That gas is brown. And get this tank cleaned. I'll put it all back together for you. Alright, y'all can see that area of the tank is much, much cleaner. This area of the tank is probably about as clean as we're going to be able to get it. So let's go ahead and start look at that puddle of gas that I have on the floor. So old it probably won't even light even if I tried it. I'm not going to try it, don't worry. So let's start the reverse process. Woo! Alright, and that is hooking up the throttle again. I don't know how well I'm going to be able to show this to y'all, but we're going to try. Okay, and we'll screw that in. Hopefully y'all are seeing this. Yeah, good enough. Come on, little throttle. There we go. Just take some encouragement sometimes. I'm just showing the whole thing, guys. Hey, y'all like seeing me fix things? I know that my videos get really, really long sometimes. But y'all are very supportive, and y'all really enjoy watching the entire process if I can show it to y'all, which is what I am doing here. So, let me get this governor spring back on. It's not too difficult, it just fits in this groove back here. Alright, there we go. And great. Excellent. Okay. So now it's a dance, y'all. Try and get the carb back on. Got a little bit of rust residue here I'm gonna try and get off, but I can blow through the tube just fine. I spray a little carb spray in it just for insurance. So, carb spray. Got a good flow going through there, which is good. All right, let's see if I can remember how to put these back on. Let's see, so it goes in like so. Now, let's see, this linkage went on here. So that's back on. I can screw that back down here in just a second. Screws on right there. So let me get everything situated real quick. I won't fiddle with the linkages too much here. Let me get the linkages and whatnot and the screws back on, and we'll just go ahead and try this out. Alright y'all, it is all back together. Here's the process that I used. Before I put the intake bolts back in, actually I think I put the intake bolts in first, then I got this plastic piece and connected this throttle mechanism after I reattached the throttle on the kill wire. Then I screwed the two screws in. One of the screws has this little latch for the intake pipe, and then these two screws connected the choke lever. So, and that'll stable up whenever I put the air filter back on. So, we should have a clean jet. We should have a pumping carburetor, as long as the diaphragm works. So let's see if it'll start this time. Times work. Throw a little bit of stay-bill in it. Even idles down okay. that's awesome. Let me go ahead and put the air filter cover and stuff back on it, and this thing's ready to go. I think I do want it to let it run for a few minutes while I clean up the tools and whatnot, just to make sure that nothing gets caught up in the carburetor. But super happy. Just a little bit more work than I thought, but first time we got it. Awesome. I've been close to 10 minutes running here. Running great. You cannot beat these 5 horsepower Briggs. They are amazing. Ooh, even got a little pop there. How about that? So, that's running. This one's sold. Already agreed to a price with a guy. He's coming from a little over an hour away. He's looking for a tiller, and he wanted it this week. So I put this one on the docket. Got it running, got it going. Again, Advanced Auto Parts. If you're looking for a diaphragm, they've got them, which is really cool. I do need to give it an oil change. I will do that before he comes. But that's all I've got left to do here. Tines are turning, tines are clear. Might give it a little wash just to make it a little bit nicer. But really looks good as it is. Just a little bit of oil caked up and stuff, but nothing atypical for a tiller. So that's it. So what I thought was going to be a relatively short video turned into one that was a little bit more lengthy, but we got to go kind of into the inner workings of the 5 horsepower Briggs. We started out with the diaphragm replacement, and then we ended up having to take the whole tank and all that good stuff off to get as much of the rust as we could out as possible. I'm very thankful that the tank is no more rusty than it is, because they're known for those tanks are known for wearing holes in them due to rust, for reasons like this one where it was sitting for a while with a little bit of gas in it. And so I'm very thankful that that's not the case with this one, that we caught it before it rusted through, because those tanks pretty much cost about as much as the tiller would, at least half, and so it wouldn't make it really viable to fix it if that was the case. However, it is fixed, and like I mentioned, I already have a buyer lined up for it. He was already planning to give me 2 push mowers and a weed eater, so I gave him a little bit of discount on this. I was going to list it for $200. I'm going to let him have it for $150 since I'm going to get 2 push mowers and a weed eater from him. I'm going to contact him this evening and tell him that it's ready so that he can come anytime and pick it up. That's the way the small engine world works. Especially in spring sprint. Man, you gotta, you're usually like 1 or 2 mowers or 1 or 2 items behind on your sales. People are asking if you have something available before you even get it ready. Helps save on the advertising and the Facebook scammers or whatever. So, say the little Task Force tiller, MTD brand, decently made deal. And I hope y'all enjoyed the inner workings of this tiller with the diaphragm and whatnot. The flatheads are great engines, probably some of the best, right up there with the 3.5 horsepower classics and stuff like that they put on push mowers. So again, thank y'all for watching. Easy fixes here. We got a tiller that has not been run in years, running and tilling, and going to live on another life. So I thank y'all again, and I'll see y'all on the next video.